we're standing now where, if you remember when we were at school, the work we did to learn about Thomas, and if you remember, we had, hopefully you can see this map, here is Delville Wood, and we found the exact place of the trench, which we thought was on the corner of Hop Alley and Beard Trench, so we knew that. Well, this is just fantastic, you know, this is living history. We can touch it, you know, this is where Thomas was fighting. All the fields behind me here would have been where the major battle was going on of the Somme, and tracing the wood where Thomas is buried, and we'll go to there in a second, but coming back from that, we're pretty sure we've got the measurements of this now, and I'm just going to walk to where I think the line of that trench was. So in front of me will be the exact trench that Thomas was at, and you can see it where the ditch is sort of now, the change in the land. Almost certainly this is where that trench was, and we certainly know it's the right sighting. So you might just be able to pick it up now. You can see the darker green on the right is slightly raised than the left, and I'll walk down to that just so you can see it. I'll try not to fall over. Here, this here, clearly the ground is raised here. It's not very much, but I think we can say this is the line of that trench. Nothing here now. The trenches have obviously many years ago all filled in, but I would say probably maybe 75 yards from where we're looking down here would be exactly where Thomas died. So what a thing after the project we did to be standing here sharing with you exactly where he was in the trench where he was killed. So it's really sad. God bless you, Thomas. It's sacred ground for us to be standing on. And if you remember when we did the project, we found on the Commonwealth War Graves Commission they had the exact sighting of where he was first buried, and Jeff, my brilliant cameraman, is just swinging round, and it's just over here. So somewhere, that's Delville Wood we're looking at, and just to the right of that, somewhere approaching there, was the first place that Thomas was buried on the day that he was killed, and he was then moved, as they often were, to the central cemetery, which is just straight down, just to the left of Delville. This is Delville Wood Cemetery, as you can see, and we've just come down the road from where we know the trench was, tragically where Thomas was killed, and we know he's buried here. So just wanted to show you a few things before we go and find his grave. You can see as soon as right at the front, at the entrance here to the cemetery, there's the cross of sacrifice, and they have a cross of sacrifice if there are 100 graves here. There are many more than 100 here, more than 1,000 at this one, and you can see the cross of sacrifice where we offer our prayer. It's a Christian prayer for Thomas, and we do pray for him. It's been lovely to be able to do that as we've learnt about his story. You'll also see right in the middle of the cross there's a dagger pointing down, and that was to signify the end of battle many years ago, many hundreds of years ago. That's how a battle would be seen to have ended. A sword would have been put in the ground to say that it's over, so that signifies the end of fighting. So it has both our Christian prayer and an image, you know, that recognises the end of the battle. I think they're really beautiful. And we're just going to walk in. There's something else, because it's 1,000, more than 1,000. There's a stone of remembrance. We'll walk through the. I'm sure you'll agree, it's just a beautiful cemetery. You'll see just how fantastic they're looked after. These men deserve this, and the flowers by the graves are just so pretty. We've actually got some of the workers here who have been cutting the grass today, so we might get the lawnmower on in a minute. Some cases you can see here, there's no name. A soldier of the Great War, known unto God. So they just don't know the name of the soldier they found. I'm really glad to say that obviously we know where Thomas is buried, and we will go to his grave. But I think you can probably see in the distance now, we're just getting closer to it, the stone of remembrance. I hope you're picking up the lovely bird song in the background. this is the remembrance stone, and as I say, they have one of these where the cemetery is as large as this, if it's over 1,000, and the words on the remembrance stone, as a lot of thought went into what to say here, because there are so many things that would have been appropriate, and they asked Rudyard Kipling. You may well have heard of Rudyard Kipling. If any of you have seen the Jungle Book, you'll know of Rudyard Kipling. His son was in the Irish Guards, and tragically his only son, his only child, was killed in the First World War. So to ask Rudyard Kipling seemed really appropriate, and he came up with these now famous words: "Their name liveth for evermore." I think that just gets it right. It's beautifully simple, and it is what we've done. Their name liveth for evermore. Thomas Fairhurst. It's well over 100 years, and here we are remembering him, his name, and all the others here. They will no doubt liveth forevermore. Right, so what we're going to do now is try and find out where Thomas's grave is. So if you came here not knowing, there's a register at the front of the cemetery. We'll walk to that now, and we'll see if we can get Thomas's name on it. So here we are back at the Cross of Sacrifice, and we're just going to walk past the cross to just on the left. You might be able to see just past this beautiful cross. There's a cemetery register. We'll head for that. I'll just read out alongside the register. I'm hoping you'll pick it up. It says, "The land on which this cemetery stands is the free gift of the French people for the perpetual resting place of those of the Allied armies who fell in the war of 1914-18 and are honoured here." Which is beautiful, and I'm just going to register. So there are when you come to these cemeteries, there are two things you will find here. One is a visitor book, which is really great, and it gives you a chance to say something. I would have dearly loved to have had all of you from St Wilfrid's to be here. Would have just been so special, but not very practical. But the best thing I can do is do this for you, and I've put an entry into the register. So St Wilfrid's is here in name. And remember the song we sang, Fran's beautiful song, Never Forgotten. It's probably one of the most beautiful, it was probably the most beautiful song that depicts the loss of these soldiers and the remembrance of them. So I thought it appropriate we'd put those words on, and of course we know they were the words that the family put on Thomas's grave. Second book in here you get is the register. So every single soldier who's buried here, if you wanted to find them, it would be impossible or just take you too long if you just came looking at every one. So you come here and find this register. We know that we're looking for our Thomas, so I'm looking at the F's. Okay, and you will be able to see, hopefully, Lance Corporal T. Fairhurst, remember his regimental number 2444, 4th Battalion, South Lancashire Regiment, killed in action 9th of September 1916, our age just 24, son of Frederick and Elizabeth Fairhurst of Knutsford Road, Grappenhall, Warrington. And of course we've been there, haven't we? That was an amazing story, this. We've been to where he lived. This is so touching. And the grave reference, 7F10, there is a plan at the front of the book, but I could show. I can find that. I think it's right at the front. Here we are. So I know from here we're standing. There's the Cross of Sacrifice. We're standing here, and where we want is here. So we've actually had a look at it, so we'll save a bit of time getting to it, but this tells you exactly where it is from finding your soldier. So these are really invaluable if you're coming for the first time. We'll put those away. So glad that St Wilfrid's name is on here now, that St Wilfrid's and Thomas really are joined with that. It's just perfect. So we're now going to head out to Thomas's grave. where I'm looking to find the grave, the row we saw the plan 7D, we know that Thomas is 7F, so if this is 7D, here is 7E, so we know he's in this row, and I know from looking at the map, the plan I should say, he's on the end here. Oh, so here's, oh gosh, what an amazing moment this is. This is our Thomas. You can see the South Lancashire emblem at the top there. Thomas Fairhurst, we know it's Thomas, regimental number 2444, South Lancashire Regiment, died on the 9th of September 1916, and we've just been from where he was killed. And there are those words that his family put on, that Fran made the beautiful song, Never Forgotten. And you will just think of Thomas through those words, Never Forgotten, by father and mother and all at home. And we definitely haven't forgotten Thomas. It's been a wonderful project and a wonderful way to finish it. So I'm so proud to be able to do this for you. And I wanted to leave on behalf of the school. There's not many graves here. I've got like a personal memory, something unique to them. They're beautifully looked after, but our Thomas is going to have something, and I can think of nothing nicer than to put this. It's an artificial poppy, and it's got a wire stem, so this isn't going to go anywhere, and it will survive the weather, I think. So I'm going to place this by Thomas's grave. God bless you, Thomas. And I think a way to finish the story for Thomas, the remarkable project that we've done. Here we are by his grave, and I think I'd just like to read two of the poems that actually we read out at the service at St Wilfrid's, if you remember. I'm going to do it here, standing by where he's laid to rest. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. So that's the end of our beautiful tribute to Thomas, and I hope you get so much out of watching it, and you can watch it again and again. This is a film that school can keep forever. And I just wanted to finish really with showing you when we did the story of what was going on in this area, and we heard about Delville Wood itself and the fighting there, and I think I mentioned about the South Africans were particularly affected and very badly damaged through all that, and their commemorative memorial of the First World War is here in Delville Wood, and you can just see that in the distance. It's really beautiful. All the South Africans who were killed here are named. Something about, I mean, I think the birds I mentioned earlier, but they just really add to the peaceful feeling around it all. So it just to give you a feeling, you know, we can see just further up where we know Thomas, so he's just panning around Delville Wood, and where you can see those windmills in the distance, where we know Thomas is in those fields there. That's where we walked in to find Beer Trench, and here he is down here, buried within sight of that and alongside Delville Wood. So I think this is just, as I said before, I think this has completed the project so beautifully. And the final words I think just have to be, Thomas, never forgotten.